feel. Magic.
Look at the new horse.
Are you serious?
Come on.
You can't buy me.
Main character is about to batter her husband to death with a hammer. Shut
Hello and welcome to Arts 24's weekly film show. I'm joined in the studio by director Kate Brooft. Hello.
Hello.
Welcome to the show. Thank you for being here. You're here to talk about your first feature, The New West, out in France this week. It won the Audience Prize at Sundance and is a different sort of Western. We'll talk about it in just a moment. Also with us is our film critic, Emma Jones. Everyone this week is asking me about the Michael Jackson film, Emma. It's the story about his rise to megastardom with the Jackson 5 and Thriller album, directed by Antoine Fuqua. Emma, tell all.
Well, indeed. I mean, first of all, the opening weekend box office is going to be a bit of a thriller, if I may say so. It's going to be predicted at around $200 million worldwide. Michael Jackson may have died in 2009, but he still has a devoted fan base, and he continues to be the highest earning deceased celebrity ever, I'm told. So the film, Michael, stars his own nephew, that's 29-year-old Jaafar Jackson, son of Jermaine, playing the adult Michael.
Okay, well, time for a look then at the film and a word from Jaafar Jackson, who plays the legend at the LA premiere.
Ready whenever you are, Michael.
Do you know what I'm after? You want to be the biggest star in the world?
We need to capitalize on Michael's success because the Jackson family is the brand. That's our Coca-Cola. And we need to start selling. So I'm planning an international tour. This is just the beginning.
I hope the audiences will have a deeper understanding of the humanity that Michael has, you know, the soul, and also giving them those big moments, you know, those big performances that will take them back to that time when Michael was on stage and to feel that essence.
There we go, that was from the LA premiere. Now, this is a controversial release because of the historic child abuse allegations that were made against Michael Jackson from 1993 onwards, allegations which he denied and his estate reject.
Yes, as recently as February this year, 4 siblings from the Cascio family filed a lawsuit in California alleging they were sexually assaulted by Jackson. And Jackson's estate has said the allegations are baseless. If you think of something like Dan Reed's documentary, Leaving Neverland, a series which was released in 2019, there were more allegations of this kind against Michael Jackson, again, all denied by his estate. Although at the time radio play of his music dropped temporarily, overall, it's had no effect on his popularity whatsoever. If you think of something like MJ the Musical, a Broadway and West End hit show, it has made more than $300 million. So I doubt that this question mark over his life is going to affect the biopic. Now, interestingly, the film was originally planned to deal with some of these allegations, I'm told, but legal issues prevented it. Instead, the story finishes in 1988 when Jackson was at the top of his career.
So, is it worth watching?
You know, there's a standout performance from Jaafar Jackson in this. He's a spitting image of his famous uncle. His dance moves, which I believe he worked on for about 2 years, seem to me as good as the real thing. And the set pieces of the hits are going to be loved by fans. So he brings a childlike sweetness to Michael Jackson that his family say was the man's essence. He loved Disney, he loved Peter Pan. He was the lonely child who never grew up. And he had a growing menagerie of animals to keep him company. A giraffe on the Jacksons' lawn is a moment in the movie.
Now, Colman Domingo is playing Joseph Jackson, the family patriarch. Tell us about his performance.
He's a great actor. He's superbly menacing in early scenes as the villain of the piece, as an abusive father. Now, this is the plot of the film, how young Michael overcomes his father's abuse to become independent. On one level, it's very enjoyable to watch, but it feels flimsy story-wise, until as the end credits roll, you might see a strong hint that there's an intent to make a sequel. So I wonder what that film would be like. Also to note that his super successful sister Janet does not even exist in this movie at all. However, the movie is backed by Jackson's estate, and his son, Prince Michael Jackson, has a producer credit.
Okay, well, that is the Michael Jackson biopic, which is out in French cinemas now. Now we welcome the director, Kate Brooft, to talk about her film, a work of docu-fiction called The New West, or East of Wall, as it's also been known. It's your feature debut as a director. As I said earlier, it won the Sundance Film Festival Audience Award in its category. Before we take a look, how would you describe it?
Yeah, so it's a docu-fiction film, and it follows the real life of Tabitha Zimiga, who's a widowed horse trainer. She's wrestling with unresolved grief and financial insecurities while providing refuge for a group of teenagers who she takes in on her ranch.
Okay, well, let's take a look.
Yeah, I know what today is.
John, he taught me how to ride. I mean, really ride.
Portia, get Portia. She's fast.
She knows everything about horses. She won't even try to ride anymore. Not since it happened.
Gummer tells me you've been selling horses on TikTok or something?
But y'all ain't making the sales. I want to buy this 3,000 acres.
You see me walk in, though I came to win it all.
I can't figure out if he's stupid or not.
Hello, Kate, and congratulations on a really beautiful movie as well. Of course, most of the people in this film are real people. They're first-time actors. You've got a couple of professionals in there as well, Scoot McNairy and Jennifer Ely. Now, I've heard that you were travelling around the US with your cinematographer, Austin Shelton, when you were recommended to go and visit Tabby's ranch. What happened?
Yeah, it was a crazy moment. I mean, when you're driving around in that heat in the middle of summer throughout a rural community, it's like you kind of forget where you were. And I thought I was in Nebraska at this point, and we took a wrong turn, and I met a woman, and she said, if you want a really amazing story, head east of Wall and try to find a woman named Tabitha and her family, and that's exactly what I did.
So how did the script develop? Is it true that you wrote it in one day?
Well, I think it was like living in my body for a long time because I lived with this family for 3 years, completely embedded myself in their community almost as a ranch hand, helping any way that I could. And so when I was writing the script, it's all moments that they've shared with me from the past or things that I was there and I witnessed, and kind of weaved it into a narrative.
And Riley Keough and Gina Gamble also lived on the reservation when they made War Pony.
Incredible film.
That was praised by the cast. Like you live with them, as you said. How important was that, do you think?
Hugely important. I mean, I needed to know their connection is to land. And for me, I didn't have that connection. I'm born and raised in Los Angeles. And so I needed to understand what that sacred connection is and just build their trust, for them to trust me and me to trust them. And it changed my life, the most important people I know.
I guess the obvious question is, why not just make a documentary? Why not just film as you went along?
Yeah. For me, I think that I have so much respect for doc filmmakers, and I don't consider myself a doc filmmaker. I love working with actors, and I think there's so much talent that's in this world, and I think it's a myth that you have to live in Los Angeles or London or New York to have a story worth telling or to have a point of view as an artist. And if I was in a position where I was able to discover all new faces, new body types that haven't been on screen, new spirits and souls, like, I'm gonna do it. And there's no faking what they're doing. I could never hire a Hollywood actor to be riding like Portia is in this film. So it was exciting to introduce just new people into Hollywood. Yeah.
And how important was it for you to show this economic struggle that many Americans are facing, and how connected is that with the return of Trump?
Yeah, I mean, of course, I didn't go in wanting to show that or feeling a need, not even to make a Western. I was just so enamored with the spirit of these women and these girls. But yeah, I mean, it is completely affecting them. I mean, my friends in South Dakota from the reservation have been detained by ICE for absolutely no reason other than just judging by their skin color, and it's cut down a lot of the resources, government resources for the kids, school lunches and after-school tutoring and programs. So it's hit hard.
There's so much in this film. Thank you so much, Kate, for coming in and talking to us about it. A reminder that The New West is in French cinemas this week. Before we go, Emma, though, one more release to talk about. It's Scottish director Lynne Ramsay's Die My Love, starring Robert Pattinson and Jennifer Lawrence, produced by Martin Scorsese. This is Ramsay's first film since 2017, which was You Were Never Really Here, starring Joaquin Phoenix.
Yes, so Die My Love played in competition in Cannes last year. It's based on a 2012 novel about a character with postpartum depression by Ariana Harvitz. Lynne Ramsay already made one film in 2011 that partly dealt with that topic. That's We Need to Talk About Kevin. And I understand that she reportedly told Jennifer Lawrence she didn't want to make another film on that topic. Instead, she focused on Die My Love as, quote, a bonkers, crazy love story that unravels.
Jennifer Lawrence actually missed out on an Oscar nomination for this, but her performance has been massively praised.
Yes, you'd probably want to see this film for that performance alone. So she plays Grace, who alongside her boyfriend Jackson, that's Pattinson's character, they play a couple of hipsters who go and live in an old house in the woods in Montana, and they have a baby, they get a dog, and then she starts to suffer from postpartum depression. Now that might be the diagnosis. I can't help wondering as to whether her new life with the emotionally lacking Jackson really is what Grace wants. It reminds me a little of the performance in Darren Aronofsky's Mother a few years ago. Jennifer Lawrence really takes that opportunity to let rip. And the explosion of her performance drives out anything else. Even a really great supporting role by the superlative Sissy Spacek. So I'd say Jennifer Lawrence is more riveting than the story, a little bit sadly.
Emma Jones, it's been a pleasure. Thank you so much. We're going to leave you with Die My Love. Thank you to today's guest, the director Kate Brooft, whose film The New West is in French cinemas now. Thank you so much. Thank you for your company today. See you next time.
She don't like her eggs all runny. She looks down her nose at money. She gets it on like the Easter bunny. She's my baby, I'm her honey. I'm never gonna let her go.
I'm stuck between wanting to do something and not wanting to do anything at all. Where are you now?
Is everything all right?